Welcome back to the West Ham Network. You've just witnessed West Ham get beat 1-0. 1-0. I don't even know. I can't even speak, mate. I'm really struggling. I'm not going to lie to you. I said a couple of weeks ago. That it would be the next three games. I personally would judge Moyes on, and I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick to what I said. What's that?
I don't know. Background noise. Go on.
Where are you, Matt? I said it. Arsenal wasn't expecting much, but it was backed up. You know, we didn't get anything from it. Matt, is that you or me?
No, it's probably me in the background. Probably background
sounds like
noise.
it's you. Hold on a minute. I'm going to mute you for a second.
Yeah.
And I said right from the start it would be the Arsenal, Leeds, Wolves games. I've not saw anything. I've not saw anything, mate. I'm really not. I'm going to bring on our first guest. Right, on you go, mate. Mickey, is it?
Yeah, it's Mickey. Yeah.
How you doing?
So to speak.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Thanks for joining us. You've just witnessed that, mate. It's not ideal, is it? So tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I'm really concerned at the moment that every time West Ham seems to be getting in a position where you think we should be getting points, West Ham just seems to be regressing. I mean, I didn't see the game today. I followed it with you guys on here. I see how Leeds were so committed to getting. They lost yesterday to Villa, but they were so committed to try and get them points, and they pushed all the way. I don't know what is it. Why doesn't he Moyes change anything? He seems to just be trying to do the same thing and expect the players to do something different. When obviously clearly they're not. It's getting really worrying because loads of teams near the bottom are picking up points, and West Ham have got to rely on beating Everton at home soon. But they're going to run out of games, and it's really concerning. Yeah, I went to West Ham last season, and the poor form I think in the league started in January, but they had an excellent cup run, and part of the reason is I think they didn't sign any players in that January. But that's no excuse for Moyes. Moyes is just so reluctant to change that he doesn't. He seems to think that the players are going to do what he wants out there, but nothing's happening. What is happening out there? I mean, why can't they score goals? Last two
Mickey,
seasons,
I think you're right, mate. Yeah,
no goals.
You're totally right, mate. See, when I think about this game, I just said it before you came on. I was like, I'm watching this game and I'm not excited. There's nothing excitement. I mean, I think Matt, you said it. Like the only thing that was exciting was 2 half chances for West Ham in the game, and that's really it. But that's happening week in and week out, and yeah, okay, I admit it. I was clutching on straws by trying to say I want to back Moyes. But the last 3 games where I said, listen, I'm at the stage now where I'm saying he's got 3 games to go. We're past the 3 games. What's happened from it? We've gained a point. We've not really looked like we can do anything different with the Moyes tactics. We really don't. And I think you're right, Mickey. I think I'm scared to say it, but I don't like saying it. But I think his time's up, mate. What do you think, Mickey? Where are you at with it?
I think it is. I mean, the fact is he's got 1 point for his 9. Also, Leeds, we're in a position where we're in at 2-1 up and he takes Skamaka off. Why not push for 3-1? Why not try and get that third? What have they really got to lose? I mean, it's just that you keep the scenario is where you think, we can pick up these points, but they've got Everton coming up. You think get 3 points, but Everton, who's going to want it more? I'm wondering who actually wants it more. And I think certain players, I mean, Rice can't do it on his own, but what's happened to Gerard Bowen? I mean, is he got nothing left in his engine? He's almost like, to me, I'm taking a mick already, but sometimes it seems like he's a poor man's Jack Grealish at the moment. He wins penalties and that's about it. I mean, what's going on with the guy? I mean, I don't know what's happening to. I mean, we've got some good defenders, don't get me wrong, still, but they're not. And Keller, who's this Keller geezer? I mean, what's that about? I mean, I'm glad he weren't in a team, but I'm really concerned about. And Ben Rama, he's like, he can be a bit hot and cold, but he's a luxury you can afford. You can afford to have Ben Rama as a luxury because he can pull it off every now and then. And I don't know, it's worrying. You've got players in that squad who aren't going to get any minutes, but are still at the club like Lanzini. I mean, Skamaka, when's he going to be ready to play in the Premier League? He's ready, obviously, but when's Moyes going to allow him to? And
yeah, Matt, what do you think from what Mickey said? Oh, Matt, you're muted. Hold on a minute. I'll unmute you. There you go.
There's no plan B. There's barely a plan A.
Yeah.
And we had a plan A for 2 years. And was it Rice or Bowen spoke? I mean, no, it might have been Ben Johnson spoke about it last year. And he said when he went on international duty, it might be Johnson, the under-21s. And he said everyone was asking him questions because everyone wanted to know how to do this system because Moyes had worked out this fantastic counter-attacking system, which was great, right? But there's no plan B. He hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
But
No,
Bowen done well because he could run in behind and run at players.
Yeah.
But if you look at that right-hand side now, apart from once, when we done a 1-2 with Paqueta, and Paqueta, we said, and was it the first or second half? First half. He put a brilliant ball in behind on the 1-2, and Bowen was able to get in and put a cross in the box. Apart from that, every ball into Bowen's got his back to feet. He's back to goal.
He's also like last season, also like with Antonio as well. They had played, so teams have players on the likes of Antonio or Bowen because they know if they get the ball, they can counter. And the amount of times I see the ball getting hit up to Antonio and he couldn't even control the ball because he could hold players off the ball, but he couldn't hold up the ball. It's all right, Antonio being there and holding players off the ball, but he wouldn't actually get the ball. And West Ham weren't in a position to. And how can you play a counter-attacking system like that when you play 50, 60 games? Last season we played, I don't know if it's 58 games. I can't remember how many games. It was all competitions. Like that, yeah. But, how can you keep playing that when you hardly change the team around? And and now he's got.
I think the thing I've got, the concern now I've got is the fact that we're now officially halfway through the season, 19 games in. We've got 19 games to try and save. It's all about saving ourselves this season. I understand there's going to be a transition. The issue I've got is the issue I've got with the transition is it's inconsistent. We cannot find any level of consistency, and now it's down to team selection. So, for example, you've got Zuma, who is trained all week on the park. Why are you not putting him in a team? Why are you not putting him in a team? Skamaka, if he's trained more than half the week, why is he not going in the team? Why are we relying on Antonio? Why? There's my frustrations. Things need to change. I was willing to give him the 3 games. I've given him the 3 games. The fact that I'm saying I was willing to give him the 3 games meant that there was an element of doubt in my mind. But after the 3 games that I've just witnessed, I think I'm going to have to say it. But I think it could be Moyes out now. I think the time has come where, I don't like saying it, but I think the time has come. We need progression. We need to move forward. I mean, do you know what, Mickey? The thing is, all you want as a West Ham fan is your players to jump on and try on the field. And sometimes I don't doubt that some of the players do show that. But a lot recently, man, like some of the balls, Matt, we were watching the game and some of the balls that were played to their own teammates were ridiculous. Like they couldn't even pick a pass to each other. The most basic of passes in their own half or in.
The frustrating thing is when I'm watching last season, I can remember some games where West Ham could put about 10, 12 passes together and have a little run, put a ball in the box. From what I hear you guys say, because I didn't see the game on the commentary, was that sometimes we were trying to get crosses in. There weren't even anyone there to receive the ball. I mean, literally. But that wasn't because they're not a player makes. But that's not so much they weren't anyone going up front. It's just they're not. No one knows. One player doesn't seem to know what the other's doing.
Yeah, not really one another. There's no tactic. The tactic is get wide and put crosses in the box. But we haven't. I don't think we scored from a single cross this season.
I mean, what was it? Not last season, season before even. West Ham, was it 12 goals from set pieces in the Premier League? Was it? I'm not sure. And most of them came from Souček, funny enough.
Yeah,
but we can't score from set pieces either.
Yeah, no. And then what you see is
penalties, and Ben Rama scores your goal. And we get penalty. I mean, Skamaka scored a good goal the other day, but he literally had so much time and space to do that. He had about 5-6 seconds to line it up, didn't he? It was, but it's still a good goal. Don't get me wrong, but he's not going to be afforded that. But then if people aren't helping him to get into space or making space for him, what's he going to do? He's got to rely on the opponents to give him the ball, ain't he, almost?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Mickey, we've got a whole host of people trying to come on. So before you go, mate, sum up the game and let me know genuinely thoughts of Moyes in or out. And lastly, if it is out, who would you like to come in?
I think starting the game, it's a poor result, especially considering the results around us. I think the only thing fortunate for West Ham is if they can get out of the bottom 3 if they beat Everton. I think mathematically depends on the other results. I think Moyes out, and I think there should be someone in there maybe temporarily, but you're not looking at someone permanent. It's a tough one, but I can't see anyone at the club at the moment who can come in as a caretaker. But if you're going to bring someone in short term, And I really don't know. I've been thinking about this earlier. The sort of person you like to keep West Ham up, but only to keep West Ham up is someone like Dyche, but not permanent. This is the thing. You need someone there, maybe short term, who's going to do. I'm not talking about a Ranieri or Allardyce. They're at it. I mean, or Bruce. What I mean is someone who could do something short term. Then maybe see where they go from there. But the idea is just keep West Ham up, consolidate their place in the Premier League, hopefully get a decent cup run. That's the most important thing. Their next season, I don't even want to think about next season because the way this season started, all them sides. Yeah, I think Moyes needs to go. I can't understand why. What reason they can have to keep him?
Yeah, not after that. I mean, the only other concern maybe the mindset of the ownership if they don't move on him leaving the club is that he's the sort of manager you would look at to try and keep you up, which is what's happened with West Ham before.
The biggest irony is that if you sack Moyes, I could bring in a caretaker manager and then bring back Moyes. That's how bad it is. That's the sort of scenario you're at. You need someone like Moyes to. It's terrible, isn't it? It's not progressive. It is regressive. It's like Everton, but that was 10 seasons ago. No, last season at Everton. It's not right.
No, you're right, mate. You're right. Listen, Mickey, thank you very much for coming on, mate. If you ever see the link again, don't ever hesitate to jump on, mate, please.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, mate.
Yeah, take it easy, mate. Take it easy. So that was Mickey on the line. If anyone else, we've had a few people jump on and off in the background. So if you are watching and you feel free, I've put the link in. You can click on it. Myself and Matt, we're going to go through some of the comments. I mean, there's loads of comments here. And if you are joining us and you're new around here, I think there's a subscriber only chat. So if you want to put your chat in, you can see it. Epic Hashtime is saying Moyes should resign immediately if he had a shred of decency in him. Ashley Kemp says next game for Wolves is City. Hammer89 says he must go tonight. Michael Blease says Moyes and Lampard both out tonight, but will face each other next week. Epic Hashtime, Matt, you need to roll the duct tape for a situation like this. Rob's projector wall, not happy. Adam Cook says I'm going to Everton game, but he has to go. I don't expect much from the Everton game. Aaron says he's got to go. Ashley Kemp says Moyes wants the sack. Ray Debo says insulting. Alan Dunn says Moyes has no idea starting the lineup through to his changes. He has to go. Michael says we need 23 points from 19 games. God.
But we've only got 15 from the first 19.
Yeah.
And we've got to play Newcastle twice.
Yeah. Even if Moyes goes right now, the next manager's going to have to be an incredibly difficult job to keep us up. I don't know where the points are supposed to come from. Dead meat, not fight, an absolute joke. Drain Hole Hammer says, I honestly cannot see what the game plan was today. We are scared to fight. Absolute dog shit of a performance. It's true, though. What was the game plan today, Matt? I mean, it's not even an element of...
that's what I said to you. Element, like, look.
They're not even like... There was... avoid defeat. Was that the aim? Because the aim to avoid defeat has not worked.
Thing. Yeah. That was his sole thing, wasn't it? He was like, he set up to not lose. But like we said, he picked up on it. I said, I don't know if it might have been before you jumped on, and I said to the chat, I was like, the only thing I would do today is, it didn't even make a difference. I said, I'd have put Podence out on the right-hand side instead of the left-hand side, because you've got a Bonham and Creswell there. All you have to do is chip it over their head and you're in. They got a combined age of like 67 between the two of them. You cannot have that as two of your back four. I'm sorry, you can't. You've got Zoom sitting on the bench, but he doesn't have a plan B, and this is what we said. He has a plan A, which is you do the compact, tight defending, and then you break and you're fluid and quicker to transition on the counter. But we don't have that anymore. The confidence has gone. The confidence has gone so much that players are afraid to commit and get on the ball and make runs. So no one gets forward. You know, he had 6 weeks. He had the international break to come up with something new. And his new plan was play it long to Souček. And he didn't even do that today. He reverted back to what we were doing before, which isn't working.
Yeah.
You know, we had one crossing. I think our best 3 chances come from crosses where it was deflected and come back out. 2 of them frigging fell to Soufal. One he hit wide, one he hit a player. And then you sort of had 2 half chances for Rice and Bowen where it got deflected about in the box from a cross and they mishit their shots and it got saved. We never created a single clear-cut chance in the game. Don't get me wrong, defensively, for the most part, we were rather solid. They didn't really create. They had 1 clear-cut chance, which come from them putting a ball in the box and clearing it. They may have struggled in the final third, but at least in the middle, They look like they know what they're doing. There was movement, there was intricate play, there was swapping positions. Moyes doesn't allow fluidity or freedom. Moyes that is your position. You stay in that position, which doesn't work. If you look at Wolves 4-3-3 today, the front two, there was points in time when Podence was over on the same size of Wang and they were looking up, making runs in behind the defender because the defender's like, well, hang on a minute, you're not supposed to be over here. You're supposed to be on the far side. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that. Moyes doesn't allow it. Teams worked out a year ago now, January last year, teams had finally sat down and worked out that if you press West Ham's backline, if you shut down the fullbacks, if you shut down the wingers, if you man mark on the wings, West Ham cannot do anything. Because that's what Moyes has set them up to do. Right? And he had 6 weeks to try and find something different. He hasn't done it. We got told he had 3 games after the break to get 5 points from Arsenal, Brentford and Leeds. We've played Arsenal, Brentford, Leeds and Wolves. We picked up 1 point. We're now Leicester. A point in the game will keep you up. We are in relegation form. Forget about relegation battle. We are going down form. What did the commentator say? We had no wins in the last 7. Sorry, no wins in the last 6. 19. And we'd lost 19 of the last 36 games. So we've now got no win in 7 in the Premier League. And that's now 20 losses in 37 games. That's not 20 games we haven't won in 37 because we've got draws. That is, we've lost 20 of the last 37 games. I think we may have got maybe 9 wins in that time. It's not acceptable. That's over a 50%. That's like nearly 60% loss ratio. It's not like you cannot justify that in any way, shape, or form and still have him in charge.
And the other concern is
the other concern is 8 in a row, you get sacked. Right?
Well, the other thing as well is like if we go way back to when Moyes came in, we spoke a lot, and I reference it a lot. So I'm gonna kind of throw myself under the bus here. Moyes spoke when he came into the club when he was at St Andrews, and he was talking about the Red Bull model, and we're going to build something at this club. And over the last 2 years, yeah, we saw that. Do you know what? You can give up to a certain extent the Premier League form because of what we did in Europe. That was great. But what you want to see is some fight, determination, getting back into the league, pushing yourself up there, trying to qualify for Europe through the league rather than relying on winning a tournament or winning a cup, etc. From doing that. The concern is we've had to bring in these new players, and someone wrote in the comments, there's so many comments, I can't even find the comment that I want to bring back up for you, but a manager's got to play the players in their best position and also pick them and play them. And you know, maybe Moyes has rolled on that like element of these players need time to bed in. He said it about Gerd again this week in the press conference. He actually said about Gerd that, you know, by now we would have expected Gerd to have played 19 games, so it's going to take time for him to bed into the Premier League. But in actual fact, what I'm looking at when I see Gerd is by far what I'm seeing is by far our best player in defence. And no one else thinks on his same wavelength. You're talking about a player that played at Rennes who could keep match for match against Mbappe in the Ligue 1. He qualified, albeit, yeah, he missed the last couple of games in the World Cup, but took and helped Morocco and was a leading figure for the early games for Morocco in the World Cup in Qatar. And when he's played for West Ham, he stood out there and you can see he's trying to drive the team forward. You can see that he's trying to do that. And then, you know, he's been intermittent in selecting him, even when he has come back. And then you've got Zuma on the bench. And you're thinking to yourself, this is the first game you're going to see. This could be a turning point for West Ham. This is going to be your strong partnership moving forward. This is a game that you need to get to save, to try and push. You know, the Leeds draw, we titled the show, Has We Stopped the Rot? It wasn't about the actual physical rot. It was avoiding defeat. We avoided defeat. We went on, we beat Brentford in the FA Cup against a weakened Brentford side. What have we done today? We've looked shit. We've not really created anything. The tactics were all wrong. Straight back to it. It's like normal services resumed. And there's my concern. Of course I've got a fucking concern. Of course I've got a concern.
He doesn't even know.
There's no excitement, no.
He doesn't know his best team. He doesn't have best 11.
No. But the other thing as well is, I said it's all about the fine margins. I believe that to a certain extent, but there's only so long I can keep saying that. And I think that fine margin comment's gone. I think my fine margins were the first 10 games of the season when we didn't get that goal when Cornet scored against Chelsea. The fine margins were when we drew a game when we should have won a game. That's fine, but for the first 10 games of the season, now we're into the second 10 games of the season, and I am concerned. Of course I'm concerned. My next concern is, who the hell are we going to bring in if Moyes does go? Who the hell do we bring in if Moyes go?
I said on Russ's show the other day, I said I'd bring Dyche in. And I said to him, I was commenting on Rice's video the other day when he done his list of managers. And I said, I get pelters for it, but go back and look at interviews he's done since he left Burnley. He is an exceedingly intelligent manager. And he says, I will play a style of play based on the club I'm at and the players I have. If the players I've got only match playing 4-4-2 long ball, then so be it. That's what I'll play. Because that's the best, you get the best out of the players you've got. But don't forget, there was that one season that Burnley played actual good football and they finished 6th in the Premier League, got Europe, and there was calls for him to go to Arsenal. But one thing you'll get out of him is you'll get the running, you'll get the defence, you won't get the stupid individual errors. The team will be compact, they'll fight and play for each other. And then he'll let them go, the attackers, go and do their attacking stuff down the other end of the pitch. I would go and get him in. All honesty, I would go and get Dyche in.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sorry. And he was on the list before. Don't forget that. He was on that list when Moyes come in. It was like Moyes, Dyche, and I think it was it Eddie Howe was on the list at the time? And it was like, I think Moyes was David Gold's choice, Eddie Howe was Sullivan's, and Dyche was Brady's. It was something like that. But I would go and get him in. Because I'm not being funny. What have you got to lose? You can't offer him, you can't give him a 6-month contract. You can't. Because I'm sorry, no manager works like that. The only manager that worked like that was Moyes. And that was because Moyes had almost ruined his reputation when we brought him in the first time. And that helped him rebuild his reputation. But obviously didn't rebuild it too much because no one else come back in for him. And then like 18 months later, we come and got him back again. So for me, you're not going to get anyone in short term.
Yeah, if you are watching, dial this number. You can dial this number. You don't have to come on in the video screen. So it's 0116 318 3846 if you're dialing in from the UK. If you're dialing in an international number, you can dial +44 116 318 3846. And also, I've put the StreamYard link in the chat as well if you do want to join us. I don't like committing to it. I don't like saying it, but I have changed officially now. I'm there. I don't see what we can do to turn this squad around, especially if we're consistent. Most managers, Matt, would probably come in and look at our situation in our defence and see the average age, like you've said, and gone, something's not right. Right, you're conceding goals every week. Right, something's not right. Where are you conceding the goals? I can see some of the mistakes, but you know what I'll do? I'll stick with him because he's been a really good, loyal servant to the club. I can buy that for 10 games. I can't buy that for 19 games, and that's my big concern there.
The only thing I could say for him today is that he didn't have a choice in picking Fabianski because apparently Areola picked that knock up last week, didn't he?
Well,
that's
today,
even that defence, right? You've got Aguero's a left-footed centre back, right? He's a quick left-footed centre back. You've seen it because he was freaking covering on Bonner half the game, right? So straight away for me, I'm like, you want to play a back four, fine. You play Soufal. You play Zoom on the right, who should have started today. He was on the bench. You play Gray on the left. You play Emerson at left back. Because, fuck me, they spent half the game covering for Creswell anyway. So if Creswell spent half the game getting covered for his lack of pace, put the guy in that's a left wing back, but he's got pace, and then put Aguerd in next to him. Because Aguerd will tell him what to do. He's quite vocal. Straight away, you've half the age of your back four. Bringing in Zuma and Aguerd back in, right? Right back, you can do what you want. You can pick and choose it based on what sort of game you're playing. You've got Soufal, Johnson, and Kira. Kira's more mobile. Johnson's more defensive. Soufal somewhere in the middle. You want to play a holding two, you may have to bring Downs in. Put Rice and Downs together. Then let Paqueta go and play.
To be honest with
10.
you, though, mate. But to be honest, though, mate, like I think a new manager injects a whole new style on this team because the players we've bought are different to what we've bought in the past, or not in comparison when it comes to like the Scamacca and the Sebastian Haller situation, or things like that. But players like Paqueta, play them to their strengths, play them to their strengths. Declan Rice, like, we've gone from one extreme to the other. We've gone from supporting Declan Rice. We've told Declan Rice to push forward. We've told him to sit back, but we're not supporting him when he's back there. We're not playing the right players and in the right positions. You know, at the time when we look at the Liverpool game back at Anfield, we were unlucky to get beat. But we played Flynn Downs in a forward position and we had other players there that were capable of doing it. When we can play a striker, even if it's a young lad, there's so many managers out there in the world that give these players chances. And that's the frustration.
Well, look at the kid. Look at for Wolves today. I know he's played a couple of games now, but they're lacking in defensive options. And Elton Nuri's just coming back from an injury. They were playing a kid. They were playing a kid at left back. And he was absolutely fine. He was like a 19, 20-year-old. Absolutely fine. Moyes won't do it. But like you said, you go back to them couple of games. We had that spell where we didn't win games. But Moyes was like, oh, no, Paqueta's injured. I need to play someone else at number 10. Did he give Fornals a go? No. Did he give Benrahma a go? No. He played frigging Flynn Downs there. Like as I said, if you want to go 4-4-2, you can maybe put Paqueta and Rice into middle. If you want to go for the 4-2-3-1, which a lot of managers still play, sort of 4-3-3-ish, you could play Rice and Downs holding and then Paqueta as the more attacking one, or you could play Rice in the middle of a three with Fornals and Paqueta. We need to get some wingers in. You know, you go back and look at that Dan Juma, he hasn't got the right mentality. You look at the fact he refused to bring a centre forward in last January. He makes some very awkward, strange decisions. Today, do we make 3 subs? Do we make 2 subs?
I think he makes... doesn't matter, does it?
Benrahma come on and Scamacca come on. He made 2 subs, right? And at the end of the game, the commentators said, "Oh, look at the leg, the injection of fresh legs into the game from Wolves. Wolves made 5 subs.
Wolves, yeah.
He hasn't adapted. He hasn't even adapted to that. He hasn't adapted to the fact that you can make 5 subs every game. And if you can make 5 subs, at a bare minimum, you should make him 4 subs. Especially when you've gone and bought 8 new players in to reinvigorate the squad. You've now got options off the bench. Bring Flynn down. We're getting overrun in midfield the last 10 minutes while we're chasing. We'll bring Flynn down for Paqueta. Make it a midfield holding 2. Soufal and Emerson are getting leggy. We'll bring on Emerson.
I think the concern about
Emerson and Kira.
I think, yeah, but the problem then we've got is, you know, Gary Page says if he stays, we have to go to 5 at the back. I just don't think that's really.
No.
I don't think that's the option.
We can't defend.
I think it is probably. I think it's a fresh set of eyes on this team. To be honest, I really do, and I hate saying it about West Ham managers, but we cannot. But we can't put the ball in the back of the net, and the creativity has just been zapped. It's literally like you come to West Ham, bang, zap, creativity gone. But Benrahma, someone else said it. Like you can. I'm not defending him, Jacob. I'm actually doing the complete opposite right now, mate. I'm doing this. I'm not defending him. I'm there now. I've told you. I told everyone in the chat.
He's finally converted. He's finally been converted.
Well, no, I said I would get. Yeah, but I said I would stick to the guns about the 3 games.
Look,
because I felt
I was there before Christmas. But my concern, I said it in the chat before Christmas.
I was here. I was 3 games on the basis after today. We're in of January. People are turning around saying to me we should have moved 6 weeks ago. Well, move 6 weeks ago with what manager? That's my concern. What manager? So if we're going to stick, let's see if he can change it. If he can't change it, we've still got half of a January transfer window.
Like you said just a second ago, he's fresh eyes, right? He doesn't have any fresh ideas now. He's so stuck in his ways now. He's so
Alf's in the house.
Stuck in on it.
Yeah.
We need a fresh set of eyes. We do. We need someone different. You know, it can't be. You cannot keep saying, "Oh no, this is this." Like we said about the fine margins, I agree with you to an extent. There is, like, even today, that goal only gets scored because they put a cross in and Creswell half cut it out, and it ended up being like almost perfect layoff for Podence to stick it in the bottom corner. But Fabianski should have saved it. But the problem is, we're not doing anything down the other end. Moyes has gone in. There was a comment I can't remember where it is. There was a more comment. Moyes has brought in all these attacking players, and he's a defensive manager. There. The players who brought in are attack-minded, working under a manager who's defensive-minded. Moyes doesn't know how to attack. He only knows how to counter-attack. Yeah. But you didn't bring in... Start of the season, Moyes said, "Oh, we need to adapt now. We need to change to a possession-based team. We can't even fucking do that. Look at the game today. You said it. Aguerd, Bonner was screaming. Every time we clear the ball, they look up and Rice and Paqueta are holding hands about 5 yards in front of them. So there's no one there to go and pick up the second ball. We don't win any second balls anymore. If we get the first ball, we're good. We might get something out of it. Second balls, we haven't got a chance. We lose every single second ball. I cannot stress this enough. A couple of weeks back, I said we're one of the worst teams in the league. I cannot now stress the fact that now we are the worst team. We may not be bottom, but in terms of fight and desire and actual ability to do anything going forward with the ball, we are now the worst team in the league. And he doesn't have a plan for it. He doesn't have an excuse for it. I'm just waiting to find out how he's going to blame Ben Rama today.
Yeah.
Because Ben Rama's been his scapegoat all season.
We could be here all night talking about this. I'm not going to drive you all.
About it.
I'm not going to drive you all into insanity by watching it, but we'll have loads of stuff coming your way. Alf's in the chat. He says, "I'm so fed up. I'm thinking of paying the pay-per-view to watch KSI and the Misfits attempt boxing." And if Alf, I'm assuming we're expecting a grumble coming your way, so keep your eye on the channel for that. Creswell, even when he was young, he was not even good at blocking crosses. Yet now at the end of his career, Moyes makes him first choice. Still stubborn old get from Leanne. So Jerry says, "I think Noble is a good call. Just can't be any worse." Jacob says, Hiller scored a hat-trick the other day in a friendly second game back since recovering from cancer. He's supposedly not good enough for us. He's ruining quality players. Neil tees off. He says, let's face it, we are shit. Yeah, anyone still Moyes in? I think that's going to change a lot. Absolutely. Has anyone seen the manager interview yet? They didn't show it on Sky. No, but if we do see it, we will bring it to you. Matt, I'm going to call it quits here, mate. I think you are as well. Thanks for watching. It's shit. I'm not bothered about the channel, essentially. It's just good to get your voice off your chest. I've said it. And yeah, I'm ready for things to change. I'm definitely ready. So
if I wake up in the morning and he's still here, I'm going to be exceedingly disappointed.
Maybe we'll come back on and do another show and give people more chance to come on and say what they need to say. Anyway, thanks for watching. West Ham in the relegation zone. It's not ideal. And maybe we're going to have a new
a championship party next season. It's fine.
Yeah. Right. Take it easy, everyone. Thanks for watching. Come on, you Irons.